Hello guys, and welcome back to the Sino-Soviet Union playthrough. In the last episode, I attacked and took over Finland. Dema did the same with Honduras and El Salvador. And we both started preparing against our next war targets, which for me is going to be Sweden, and for him is going to be Mexico. Dangerously close to the US. Let's jump right into it. I've decided to start placing a couple of timber mills. Not too many, just a few.
I have a grand total of 12 timber mills.
I had 0 because I was always deconstructing them whenever I took over a place. I'm starting to set some up in some loyal territory. Some.
I'm actually going to build a few, balance mine out, get myself off the market for it.
It's funny because last time I brought it up, you were like, well, it's not worth it. What am I going to lose? Like a few dollars on each trade?
I'm looking at it and it'll actually better zero me out.
Sweden is a country that's actually negative on timber. So I can only assume that my timber will take a loss of production when I get Sweden. So I might as well make some timber mills. You know, I was thinking, I was like, I don't remember United States being negative on timber, and here I am wondering if it's just because they have so many people now, because that's the only thing timber's used for, really, is your people. And I think it's just they've gotten so many people without expanding their production at all or anything like that, that they just became an importer. Same thing with the United Kingdom. It's just these countries that are growing like crazy. There's a certain amount of natural grown timber, but it's not enough to make up for having a certain amount of people live in your country. Same thing with food. Sometimes agriculture and timber, I've seen, even share the same tile, but building something on one tile doesn't actually stop that other thing from harvesting. It's just making sure you don't accidentally overlap with other goods you want, like metal ore, coal, petroleum, uranium, etc., etc. Something similar is probably what happened to your timber, is that you just got so many people after a certain point that your natural production stopped being enough. In its life cycle, I made 874 T-55 AMVs, which is essentially my version of the M1 Abrams. My version of the M1 Abrams 2, or the M1A1 Abrams, whatever comes next. I think it's the M1 Abrams 2 or some shit like that, is the T90A, and I am starting to pump these out right now. They're a lot more expensive than the T55 AMVs. Holy shit. They go further, they go faster, and oh my god, their stats are a lot better. And what is that?
I'm going to be pumping out the ZTZ-69-2. They're my year 1982 tanks.
So basically, your version of the Abrams. Yeah, this game gives a ton of credit where credit is due when looking at unit designs between countries. The M1 Abrams alone is on a whole nother level to other tanks of its release date, as it should be, as it is, and the M1A1 Abrams will be as well.
Yeah, but they can't do anything against anti-tanks. If you have a large stack of anti-tanks versus a decent stack of regular tanks, the anti-tanks are going to win because of the design.
Depends how good the anti-tanks are, but
I'm talking about from
they definitely help. They definitely help. The best part about anti-tanks, compared to just throwing a tank at a tank, is that the anti-tanks can specifically target tanks with the same efficiency of a tank, in most cases approximately, for much, much cheaper of a price. So if you lose that anti-tank, it doesn't even come close to losing an actual tank. Of course, then it doesn't have the versatility of a tank, but when you have a fuck ton of both, it's kind of like, oh well, who cares? But the Abrams, oh god. Like the Abrams is 82. My T-55 AMV is 85, and the Abrams is just, in most ways, superior, even though it's 3 years earlier. My T90A blows the Abrams away, but my T90A is comparable to the M1A1 Abrams, not the M1 Abrams. Good thing to remember, when I said a tank is still a tank, military hardware lasts a while. The M1 Abrams, just like real life, is on a whole nother league. You want to know a fun fact about the M1 Abrams? In the 90s, during like the end of the Cold War, you could actually tout that not a single Abrams had ever been destroyed or knocked out of commission by enemy fire. Abrams are scary. I went to go look at the Challenger. I was like, alright, so what do I know about the Challenger from real life? Well, its guns were pretty far shooting, and that's where a lot of its focus went. I click, and the first thing I see is a superior range to the Abrams, even. Which is realistic. But it's not as beefy as an Abrams. This is still beefy.
Hey, look, Reagan's president now.
Reagan? Hey, Reagan. Wanna be friends? I'm gonna eat up Sweden. I'm gonna eat up Sweden has a lot of ships here. There will be some ships lost during this war. On both sides. This is one of the first people I'm going to be fighting that actually has a lot of ships chilling around. This is going to be the most militarized person I've fought yet. I'm basically just planning to steamroll them through land. They have a fucking railroad I can follow, headed all the way down into a road network, which heads down to their capital. Once I'm down there, everything's just super fucking open. Guess what time it is?
It's time for you to go to war against Sweden.
Yes. And immediately proceed with a mass fucking charge at the first town. Let's slow it down just in case. And the war started. But hey, I took the first town. I've already lost like fucking 12 units. It's mainly at sea. It's just things getting blown up by the Swedish Navy. But I'm blowing up their Navy as well. Oh my god, look at this shit. They got a bunch of planes. They got a lot of troops headed north. Look at this. This is going to be a battle. My Navy's getting deployed, and the Swedish Navy can't really compete too much as this is happening. I got some old units up front right now. I've already secured a few things. The problem is this part is so little infrastructure, but at the same time that means they're running into a meat grinder.
Hey, Res, send some units up north and secure that train at, Konglomerat.
Nothing up north actually connects to anything.
Oh, never mind. It goes into north.
Yeah, it just none of this connects to anything. Otherwise, I would have gone for it. Yeah, they're just sending troops into a meat grinder right now.
I was more
Ooh, here's their real modern stuff. They have FV-101 Scorpions. Yeah, this is going to be a fucking meat grinder right here. They have a ton of units. But hey, look at my Navy's getting everywhere now. Navy's deploying like wildfire. I'm starting to get a whole bunch of sea dominance.
They have 4 units running away. Like, just running all around like all crazy.
They're just securing territory. That's the AI. Damn, look at this fucking meat grinder.
I know. It's like you're trying to surround their units.
Oh my god, this is insane. Alliance formed. You want to know the best part of this? I've only lost naval units. I haven't lost a single ground unit yet.
Or Res, could you have lost ground units while they were,
No, I have it set to alert me on every single unit death. And I'm only losing naval units. There's not a single dead ground unit. Those that get injured end up running away in time. Oh, no, another
like a transport carrier.
Another escort. Only things like escorts. I might need some debt for this war. This is going to be a shootout. Oh, I finally lost a tank. T-72M. Yeah, that's older. I might take out some debt here just to help maintain this. Oh! NATO units are showing up. West Germany sent troops.
So they're honoring the defensive line.
That's technically not honoring. The front line is just going to be a giant meat grinder. I'm going to get some guys to go around. I already sent some land forces to find a way around. And by around, I mean bum rushing their capital from the sea now that I own the sea.
I was just wondering if you could take this military complex at the south and push out from there, or...
Are you talking about Trelleborg?
The one where your ships are all like...
Okay, with the naval production. No, I'm going right for the capital right now. It's not heavily defended.
I was just trying to find the closest seaport to Stockholm that you could utilize to your advantage.
Yeah, that would be Stockholm itself. Look at the meat grinder, the front line. They're starting to run out of troops to feed this meat grinder. I went into the red. Let's do my first bond issue. First dead of the game. Why not? God, I had their sea lines absolutely swarmed. They can't feed this meat grinder much longer. There's Chieftain. What here? Chieftain Mark 5s. Damn, dude. Who gave you those? Well, I know who gave you them, but still. Their military goods are pretty low compared to their usage. I don't know if they're being supplied, though, or if they're just buying in bulk from the world market. I've lost a grand total of 4 ground units. Almost all the losses still of mine were at sea. Yeah, they're buying their daily demand off the market. They're not able to actually fire too many bullets right now because their front line's almost completely collapsed at this point. My merchant marines are now at sea, and they're headed right for the pretty much mostly undefended Stockholm. I'm fighting some modern units up here. Like, they have very, very modern anti-tanks, both them and West Germany, getting them from the UK. My merchant marines are about to arrive at the capital, right as the front line is almost falling apart, and my troops are starting to land, it looks like. Yep. They're landing. They're moving off to the side a little bit, but they're landing. There's an elite guard still just chilling on that capital. The elite guard's almost dead. Come on, kill the elite guard. I took their capital. Nice.
They're gonna move their capital.
I just took a bunch of their resources, though. That's the important thing. I took some of their money, a bunch of their resources. They lost a whole bunch of morale because they lost the capital. And I have more and more troops landing, opening up a second front in a far more industrialized area. I'm getting their fucking research centers, and my guy's like, hey, let's use these. How about you wait a moment? How about that?
They don't know what to do.
They have nothing they can do. Even with the assistance from NATO, it's not enough. Because there's no direct assistance. I've poured into their old capital, Stockholm. The north is pretty much defeated. I have set a push to start moving down there. I'm sending some of the landing craft around to secure another port near Malmo. It's going pretty damn well, though. Fucking stat-wise, how's it looking? I've lost some troops, but God, I've killed so many more than I've lost. Oh, Jesus. It's been a while since I've lost a unit still.
Let's see, what's your current KDR?
Fuck your air base, bitch. You don't get planes. There's Turkish troops arriving, moving through Swedish territory into my territory. Now that they're in my territory, they're actually going to help me. Oh, I've secured that other landing zone. Let's get it moving. My sea units are moving up and securing the rest of the coast now that I have a kind of a beachhead here.
They're going to surrender probably right after you take Guttenberg.
Their morale is so bad. They don't have any surrenders. Oh, I lost a unit. It was a tank. T-55 AMV. That's a good tank. I'm amazed how few units I've lost in this war. Well, they have such advanced anti-tank on their side, and I've lost almost nothing. Especially land-wise.
Rez, I'm going to tell you something, even though you're going to think it's contradictory to what I said earlier. Yes, tech can help, but only if it's utilized properly. So, older units can win if the player with the newer tech doesn't.
I know older units can win. I'm the one that told you that.
I'm just saying, the newer units give you a potential to...
I took their new capital.
Oh, they went dead center. That's bad. Just bomb rush from the east to the west.
They moved their capital real quick.
Just move all your units west from Stockholm.
I'm not going to give a gigantic mass order. I don't need to give a gigantic mass order. I just need a specific strike force.
But yeah, I was just saying that if the player can capitalize, newer units can make a difference. It's the same thing with the frame rate argument in first-person shooters.
And I took their capital.
So they moved it to Boras.
Yeah. That's not gonna last long. And they surrendered. War done.
GG.
Time to fucking plummet my maintenance costs for a moment. There's too many fucking research centers right now, so it's time to... And too much military production now. I have so much stuff, and I need a moment to sort through all of this. I don't want any farms, so scrap all the farms. I assume you had timber too. I'll keep it for now. Did you have any mids or micros? Military mids, you had 2. Now you don't. Ind mid, ind micro, none. Consumer mid, consumer micro, none. Petrol plants, 3. And now you don't. Hydro small, none. Coal small, none. Alright, I'll keep all your coal and hydro. Now for military production.
Oh, you got some of their planes for us.
I don't care. My planes are better. My AI can do what he wants with them.
Wait, you're saying that once in this flying overhead, just south, let me get a...
These fucking, like, 82 tactical bombers.
Right above Falco Ping.
Yeah, no, I have more. I have better stuff than this. I have much better stuff than this. No, like I said, nobody has anything better than me in terms of military, in terms of year. Now, even the M1 Abrams, I have T90s now. My T90s are better. There's no way for me to find someone that has better shit. Alright, another research center. We're gonna have to get rid of that. We're gonna have to get rid of a whole bunch of research centers, because we just don't need this many. There's one literally building over here, so we're gonna scrap that shit.
So, Res, how does it feel to know a country might fall soon?
Listen, I just took over a country. I'm not paying too much attention to anything else.
I mean, it's a country that you wanted to see taken in Central America.
Central America, so you're going to war with Mexico, is what you're saying.
In 9%.
Nice.
As long as my trading integrity's good.
There's still units trying to come fight the war from West Germany. They're entering my seas and immediately getting blown up by all my naval forces that were deployed during the war. So I'm just getting free kills against West Germany still. Alright, active 12 out of 12. I'm scrapping 9. I had 11 before this. Right now I have 15 available research slots somehow. Maybe I'll see what that looks like when all these things get scrapped. Pay off this debt series. There you go. So after the war is done, Sweden comes up in terms of colonies and dead countries and alive countries. Number 4 in total deaths. And number 4 in total units lost. They killed a grand total of 32 units during that war. And most of them were at sea, I'm pretty sure. Some of them weren't even mine. Alright, I'm gonna exclude the T-55 AMVs because all focus needs to go into the T-90As at this point because they're just on a whole nother level and they're gonna be needed against things like well, it's just the shit we're gonna end up fighting.
Yeah, you gotta deal with,
I have to deal with Challengers, I have to deal with Leopards, I have to deal with the fucking AMXs that France has. I have to deal with some of the most modern tanks in the world from a bunch of different countries, and it's going to be super annoying. It's not even just tanks I'm going to have to deal with. I'm going to have to deal with air and naval, and it's going to suck.
Oh, great. The game's like at a deep crawl.
I don't see things stopping. Everything has been moving
I'm not
pretty
saying
well.
stopping, but I'm looking at the clock and it's moving very slow for this speed.
You realize that is how it has been for like the past 20 to 30 hours we've been playing this game. That is why it takes over 2 hours now to get through a single year, because that is the speed the clock moves at. I'm going to do something most people wouldn't, and I'm actually going to go down the chemical weapons research tree, because your NBC weapons at the end of that line do get a buff, and I want that buff. Like 20 days in games until my garrisons get a level up, so that's nice. Your colony, East Pakistan, is kind of deep in the hole.
I can't do anything to help them.
I was just saying, because they're, just like Korea, their debt is pretty insignificant.
The only thing I can do at this point is to just consume them.
That's not the only thing you can do, but I know if I try to point out other options, you're going to find a way to make it a 20-minute long discussion that somehow starts talking about, like, a Cold War between India and Pakistan in real life. Because I've gone down this road before.
Here are my options, and in general, and I'm going to explain why they're not options at this point. I can send them money, but I only have I have a little less than 2 billion. That could put me in the hole even farther. I don't want to risk that. I could annex them. Or I could release them. What other options can I do besides those 3?
Those are the options. But I was just pointing out that, as you just said, that completely contradicts you saying you only had one option.
Well, I would say one option at that moment in time, which releasing them.
No, you just showed you have 3 options. That's not
Giving
one
them
option.
money.
3 is 3, not 1.
I said one of the options.
No.
One of the options was sending them money, which...
Now you're saying one of the options. Originally and secondarily, you said one option.
The only thing I could do... Guess what time it is?
Time to go to war.
Now let's see what repercussions I get from this.
And there goes the war. Troops rushing to the border. Oh, the Mexicans had a fucking patrol boat off of a pier and just snatched it up. I'm going to support this war declaration. What are your repercussions? Indifferent with the world market, 58% treaty integrity, and charging through the forest onto a road. They are sending troops. They don't seem to have nearly as much as Sweden had, so this should be easier. I don't see troops from the US mobilizing to join them. This should be a cakewalk, honestly. Oh, this railroad would be a good catch. Oh, what's this? Oh, there's some
the
elite
one on the
forces
left
on
or
there.
the right?
The one on the left that I'm looking at, the railroad goes closer to their infrastructure over there. It would just be easy to move down, stop them from having an easier route to you.
Yeah, I have half my units.
The one on the right doesn't really matter as much. Yeah, they're just sending units down the railroad specifically. That barracks is by the air base is their closest point to save themselves. Ooh, look at all that oil. Got some research centers down here too. Oh, this looks like a PG version of the meat for the meat grinder experience I just had, because these are all like motorized engineers from World War II. Literally 1933 units. These are from before World War II. This should be a breeze. They have some... Oh my god, they have a Spanish tank from the fucking early World War II. That tank sucks. The Stuart over there is much better than that fucking Spanish tank. And the Stuart doesn't even really hold up well today. Oh, here come Matildas. Yeah, these are better. We've seen the Matildas in action already. Matildas, yeah, much better stats. Although, the Matildas aren't actually that good against tanks for being tanks themselves.
Look at what I got over here. Within my tanks. The ranks of my tanks.
Green Berets. Yeah, those Green Berets are better at fighting tanks than the fucking tanks, like their Matilda frogs are. And they don't even have that great of an amount of them either. They don't have enough troops to... If you were attacking from the north, they literally would not be able to keep up with you. The only reason they're able to even funnel so many troops down here is because you're in a tunnel right now. In the most narrow point of Mexico. Even then, they're getting sent back packing on almost no time.
I'm basically claiming land where I can just to keep the supply moving effectively. Because supply will be my kryptonite.
Yeah, you're basically just gonna have to follow the roads here, but in this jungly part. Yeah, you're attacking through the only jungly part as well. But as long as you follow the roads and stick to the coasts, there's a decent enough amount of infrastructure to generate supplies. God, they have motorcycle recon coming. That's not gonna do them very well, anything really.
My trade just died out.
Your trade died out?
Yeah, the world market's like, nope, we're not trading with them.
That's not a world market thing, because you're only on indifferent, so your trade is not dying out. It's just you had a bad trade day, I would say. Because the only time the world market stops trading with you is when you get down to outraged.
Oh no, Raz, I lost a tank.
Did you actually lose a tank?
Yeah, it was a CTC.
Got I assume it got stuck somewhere from lack of supply.
I didn't see where, but yeah, I lost one tank so far.
Yeah, you shouldn't suffer much losses here, especially once you get through this fucking jungle. Look to the bottom left. You should be able to push down that road. Damn, your old-ass light infantry even just put these motorized engineers and shit to shame. You have a lot of fucking troops chilling out in Fiji right now. Oh, that's right, you were gonna attack that fucking island. That's why.
Well, I could send up the troops on Fiji itself over here. Because I have units staged. There you go, I have units on the way.
Look at all this arty moving up, and AA.
Hey, that's the AI.
No, I mean on the other side.
Oh, I thought you were talking about mine.
Look at that AT charging forward. Like, I got this, guys. I got this, guys. Damn, he's getting far in the jungle. Holy shit.
What are you doing, Artie? I mean, anti-tank?
Going long. You got AT pushing up against their arty and it's slaughtering it. Here comes even more. Some IOF-2s, combat engineers. This is a fucking supply hub down here with the seaport, the military complex, and these villages in the south. That's a supply hub right there. Oh shit, look at that. Look at that swarm. They're just barely holding these lines against you. Like, they're sending everything they have. On the left, they're literally having to hold you off with armies of artillery and AT. On the north is where all their actual offensive units are going. It's interesting. Yeah, like Arty and AA with nothing else to back them. Just like what happened to you in Vietnam. It's a slaughter. They can't hold things by themselves unless they're entrenched, and none of these even have a chance to get entrenched. So this is pretty brutal. I love this combat engineer from New Zealand who showed up to fight. I can tell that when you station those two capital ships at the Panama Canal, you did not set their ROE to make them exempt from future global ROE changes, because I know for a fact you've probably edited your ROE since then, and the capital ships aren't there anymore.
Oh, they haven't been there for a bit, because I accidentally reserved them.
Huh. Mexico could use a touch more, like, in road development.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
A touch more, you know? Like another road that goes
Especially
along
in
the south.
Yeah, I was saying a lot. Or maybe a railway going between both rails. I'm rerouting my units from the east to the west because I claimed everything in that area.
I see you sent a bunch of units from Fiji over.
I don't know if they'll get there before the war ends, but we'll see.
I love watching how AI get more militarized when they go to war. Mexico's building all kinds of production facilities right now. You're real close to Mexico City on this southern side. Their morale and approval ratings are already dropping like crazy.
I'm trying to push as far north as possible. But I'm trying to do it intelligently by doing a unified strike. I'm just trying to take whatever city is between me and the capital. I learned long ago you don't want to try to just steamroll into an enemy location. You want to push your line forward.
In this instance, the lines have been mostly, until now, defined by roads though. When that happens, you usually just want to follow the road.
Minister, what are you doing? Are you trying to get my units killed?
Remember, the minister doesn't give all the orders. Units give themselves orders based on the initiative you grant them. In most cases, it's the unit AI that does the micro. It's the minister that does the macro.
Oh yeah, I can just swarm into their... I'm just swarming into their base area. Now it's just me going heavy on their capital because there's no point anywhere else.
It's taking a little bit of time to eat away at these garrisons. But you're getting it one by one. You're bordering the capital now.
Just want to spam all to the capital now.
And there goes the capital.
And my units are arriving.
Hey, reinforcements. Ooh, there's some combat engineer, infantry, nice. Tanks, nice. Recon, tanks, Jesus Christ. Look at them all just flooding in. Holy fuck. It's a lot of units.
And you all are getting mass ordered to the front line. Have fun.
Great.
I didn't send them to the specific front line, but I sent them in that area and we'll let them spread out from there.
So you're capturing a lot of the places where they were making their fabs. They only have a single naval fab up and running right now. And I see exactly where it is. A New Zealand Matilda Frog just killed one of your units. And now there's actual Danish troops arriving. More troops from New Zealand. So the troops from New Zealand and Denmark and Norway are all arriving from the US. But the US is not sending anyone to help. That's $10,000 that I just saved on a tech. Thanks, Japan. Sorry, $10 billion that I just saved on a tech. Thanks, Japan. Let's lower that spending right there. I think I'm catching up or caught up to Japan in their like civil tech right now. Or are you making a push for their naval fab in the east? Is that what's happening?
Oh, that must have been my AI. I'll continue it though.
Military approval rating is down to 23.8%. The domestic approval rating of theirs is about the same. And you got the port, it looks like. Yeah, you got the port. And the naval fab.